Hi, everybody. Welcome back and happy Monday. Also, happy Labor Day. So, obviously, you guys know that we were gone out of town. Actually, on Friday, instead of Hot Messy Topics, we were traveling back from Palm Springs. So, there was no way to make that work, which clearly, but that is why we are doing a Hot Messy Topics live on Labor Day. And I don't know if you caught our members getting ready with us for Palm Springs, but my God, I feel like I've never laughed so hard in my life. It's fun because we come on here and we talk about Bravo and we talk about all of the topics, right? But then when we go on members, I feel like we get to be a little bit more goofy and kind of show our real personal side. So that's always fun for me. Now, with that, if you guys are in the live chat, let us know where you're watching from and let us know what you're doing with your day. And if you guys are doing fun things with your day, then just make sure that you're really, really careful and don't drink and drive. Don't be silly. It's going to cost you a lot more than what you think. So yeah, with that, smash the like button, show some love. Let's turn up the energy on this and welcome the husband. Hello.
Hey, you just got to ask Shannon and Karen. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake.
Oh God, not Shannon and Karen. By the way, Karen is released in 48 hours.
That's crazy.
Actually, not even 48 hours. She's released tomorrow.
I mean, like what made that happen so quickly? Because wasn't she sentenced to a lot longer, if I'm not mistaken?
No, I mean, not that much longer. I think it's just like good behavior, and that's kind of how they operate. Usually it's like what they say, the general rule is like a day for a day. So a day that you're good is a day that you get off. So if you're sentenced to 12 months and you're good for 6 months, then usually, depending on what the situation is, then they'll let you out after 6 months with the same stipulations that follow, like probation, stuff like that. But the Grand Dame is making her grand return.
Just not on Potomac. Yeah.
I mean,
yet.
Everybody's saying that they're still filming. I don't understand how they would still be filming because the trailer already came out. But if they are in fact still filming, I'm looking at it like it's probably going to be one of those Teresa Giudice things where they pick up the cameras to catch her exiting prison.
And that might be interesting. I would like to see where she's at and what she would have to say about this whole experience and what what led up to it, because we didn't get much. Sorry.
My only thing is
a really giddy mood. I'm not laughing at Karen or that situation. I'm just like really happy today for some reason.
I mean, hey, listen, we'll take a happy Jason. We'll take a happy Jason. But my only thing about it is I just hope that she doesn't make the same mistake. Like after Shannon Bedore got her DUI, do you remember she looked the best that we've ever seen her at BravoCon? She was just like, you could tell she wasn't drinking. I mean, the woman looked like she lost like 30 pounds. And I'm sure a lot of that was stress and anxiety, but she just looked like her skin looked good. She looked fresh, all of the things. But then the minute that she started filming the show, she's like, well, I didn't stop drinking, but I'm going to just limit it to like one, you know? And then she would sit there and she'd be like, can I get vodka soda or a tequila soda? And she'd sit there and whisper. And it's like, you are mic'd, honey.
You know what's so crazy about me? About me. You know what's so crazy about the Real Housewives of Orange County and Shannon? I was just, scrolling through TikTok and stuff like that. And I was watching some creators just say like, she can't get her shit together ever, season after season. And right now she just looks so unkept. She's not showing up for things. It's just like the show is supposed to be a bit aspirational, but we know it's gone a little, to the left in some senses. But at the same time, it's like, Shannon, get your shit together or get off the show. You know what I mean? It's watching this season. And I've always been kind of like a fan of Shannon and I love watching her mess, but sometimes it gets exhausting just watching a mess get messier season after season after season. It's like, okay, come on.
Well, I feel like too for Shannon, like that's what Tamara Judge recently said. She said there's nothing like what you said, like really aspirational about what's going on with Shannon. She has no real storyline. Her kids aren't at home. She's always just a disaster. She goes like this. And are you fucking kidding me? This is my real life. Yeah, girl, it's supposed to be. That's the whole premise of it. It's called The Real Housewives. And what your real life is showing right now is that it's a disaster. But
no one's aspiring to that. Let's be honest. We're not aspiring to anything you've done in your life, whether it's the drunk driving into someone's house, whether it's, the marriages, divorces, John Jansen, like nobody wants this. You know what I mean? Nobody wants this.
Well, and I feel like too, at the end of the day, this might be your real life, but like it's also your real life where you're just like sitting there making yourself kind of like look asshole, and then you're wondering why people are calling you an asshole. Like that was the same conversation I had with Tamara. Tamara said to me, she said, "Why every time that I turn on, like the podcast or your YouTube, like why do you always make me look like an asshole?" Remember? And we had that like tit to tit, and it was in Vegas. And I said, "Then stop acting like an asshole. And then I won't talk about you like you're acting like an asshole. My job is to talk about it. I can only go based off of what you're giving to the camera. So if you're going on camera and you're acting like an asshole, then it's like it's calling a spade a spade. What do you want me to I already get shit for Scheana because everybody always thinks I protect her, which by the way, guys, we have a clip and I'm totally going to dissect that. But no, I'm not sitting here. I truly don't feel like I need to protect anybody. I don't owe you anything. I'm just going to talk about what we're
definitely
seeing.
not Scheana. But
Yeah.
what are you? I wanted to get your. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say also, I want people to realize like when Jason and I come on here, we're not here to sit there and just like destroy people. I feel like we're very fair. We play devil's advocate all the time,
Oh, no, I think in more ways, if compared to some of the things I hear, especially from different podcasts and stuff like that, I think we're very generous in how we talk about the talent. I really am, I think we are.
Okay.
I was going to ask you though, what are you thinking about the Real Housewives of Orange County this season? Because I feel like it's just gone lost again. And I was so excited for this season. I even rewatched before this season started most of the end of last season.
Ugh,
and I just feel like everything is just a little too produced. I want to get into the blogger thing and everything happening with that. But like Liz in the live chat says, we've talked about this before. If you guys have Hey you guys can watch The Real Housewives of London. It is a show that needs nothing besides the women on the show, And I feel like right now in Orange,
that everybody could watch.
Yes. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. You asked how I feel about this season. This is how I feel about
it.
Guys, if you're not watching, there are so many lies that are being told. There's so much controversy around like Kiki Monique even entering into the fray. Now, Kiki clearly showed up to meet up with Gretchen Rossi and Gina Kirschenheiter. She dropped several bombs and she did it under the under the guise of just letting us know I'm here to clear my name. So my thing here is I feel like I just literally lived through this, right? So,
and I was going to bring this up because but go ahead, finish first because I want to say something about that.
Yeah, well, I feel like I just lived through this, and it was like 5 months of just really like I was getting annoyed hearing myself talk about it, and I even had a friend who at one point said to me like, "Shut the fuck up," or post the text messages. And she saw the text messages and she's like, "I'm so sick of hearing about it." And I was like, "I'm sorry. It's like, it's consuming." But consciously, I decided not to put myself out there on camera or show the text messages after making the mistake of taking the phone call, because I felt like that would just ruin my credibility in its entirety.
I mean,
I'm not trustworthy.
Yeah. And you watch what it does to the housewives who sit there and like drop text messages all the time. You don't trust them. It's like no one wants to text you. It's like even Lisa taking her notes on Real Housewives of Miami. You don't even want to say anything or text her. She's going to notate it and like keep it as evidence. I'm glad, we got dragged into the Salt Lake City thing. We were Franken edited, or you were Franken edited. Then I was mentioned on Watch What Happens Live, and that was enough just from a phone call. And then you were invited to go down to Mexico and kind of like confront, Whitney and stuff like that. But we were like, we got to stay out of this. We got to stay out of it because it's really not fun to watch. And I agree with people like that. We didn't expect it would go this way. Production uses things how they want to use it and how they think it will fit into the show. That's what they want.
Right.
But I don't like watching blogger drama. I don't want to see, no offense to Kiki, I don't want to see her on there. I wish these women were interesting enough as a group of women like the Real Housewives of London to hold the show alone without bringing a rumor or a blogger. I hate the word blogger, and Kiki, you're not a blogger. You're a podcaster, a radio host, but it's very, very, very interesting.
Yes, Boomer, we understand, and also we're in the same field. So no, there's never, by the way, there's no shade in anything that we're saying. If we use the word blogger, it's because they're using the word blogger.
They're using it on the show.
Exactly.
Because I feel like it's just like a little insult. You know,
It is.
Blogger is so Angel Fire 2000 and whatever 4. You know what I mean? Or what was the other one that was like a blog thing? I forgot.
Perez Hilton.
Taylor Swift. Yeah, like Perez Hilton, like that kind of. Well, I don't know if I would call him a blog. He was just drawing dicks on people's faces. I didn't think that was anything to write home about, but
yeah,
you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just take this back really quick. Kiki ends up dropping a couple bombs. She says she ordered her Sancerre and she drops these bombs where she's just like letting Gretchen know, yes, Katie told me that you said that you believed that you were drugged that night and that you had to go to the hospital. Then she looks at Gina and she said, also, she implied sort of the R word when you were questioning her about potentially using Asian designers. So she dropped all of these things and then she ended up leaving. Okay. So now we get over to the lie detector test. I watched the episode, you guys. I watched it again last night because I really wanted to make sure that I dotted my I's and crossed my T's. And I saw how everybody failed and passed their questions. Now, Gretchen Rossi passed every single question on the lie detector test. But then there was Katie who failed. Katie failed every single question. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, this is the same man who sat down with Lisa Vanderpump during Puppygate. So, and everybody thought that that was bullshit. So people are really questioning the credibility of this company who is who's doing the lie detector test. And I can see why they're saying what they're saying, but at the end of the day, they asked Katie, like, did you share the audio of Shannon with Alexis Bellino? She said no. They said that was a tremendous lie. Did you say that Gretchen, said that she was roofied? She said no. They said that was a tremendous lie. Did you speak to Kiki Monique? She said no. They said that was a tremendous lie. The woman said she's so full of shit and you failed miserably, which was kind of wild to watch. And you're always like a ride for Katie Ginella. You are always like, I think
she was a great addition. Yeah. But I also think that a lot of people got caught up in lies here. A lot. If you listen, go ahead. No, I was going to say, if you listen to Matt, who just did Stu's podcast, Chef Stu, and said, that the Slade called Matt and said that Alex Baskin was on the phone with him. And he was telling Matt, Katie needs to hold the line on this. Quote, hold the line.
Well, let's play it.
Okay. It's very interesting. Very interesting. A lot of people are lying. A lot.
Okay. I'm going to play it in just a second, but go ahead and say everything else that he was saying.
No, it was just saying to hold the line. I feel like there was a conversation in confidence at a dinner. And I think someone slipped somewhere about something that might have happened a long time ago and it got out and then it's defamatory. And then also, you have a lot of people who go on, their own platforms too and saying, well, maybe this, maybe that, I'll show my receipts later. And that's not, this is playing out in real time. So it's better. I'm glad that Matt got on a podcast at least and went out and said his side of the story, because I think Kiki needs to say some more. I think Gretchen should say some more. And I think we should get to the bottom of it,
Well, guys, thank you to the Real Housewives Zone. This is the clip.
911 text from Slade. Gives me chills saying this right now. I was like, what has happened to my wife?
Sure. Yeah.
So I sit down. I was like, yeah, what's up, man? I call him and he's like, Katie might have just sealed her own fate. These are these exact words. Katie might have just sealed her own fate. What's going on? She told Kiki Monique what we told you guys the night at Mastro's, and now it's getting back out to the group. This is really bad. You need to call Katie, and you essentially need to have her hold the line and say it wasn't said. He says, I'm on the other phone right now with Alex Baskin. He says this. I'm on the other phone right now with Alex Baskin of Bravo. He's pissed. This was all dealt with a long time ago. This was all settled. This wasn't supposed to come back out. He was in full backpedal. And I'm he's, again, this guy started Real House. I don't know his connections. I don't know what his relationships are with top production or whatever. I don't know if he's on with Alex Baskin. I just know that I know Alex Baskin's important. He's powerful.
Yeah.
And this is apparently he's pissed. And I call Katie and I get home, I'm like, baby, this shit is that to hit the fan as it relates to this. Gretchen and Slade, they didn't want this story to get out. And did you tell Kika? I didn't tell Kika. I get a 911 text from.
Okay. So here's the thing too. Then you go over to Gretchen Rossi, who said, I didn't go to the hospital in her confessionals. But then we watch her on tape saying in the back of the car with Tamara and Shannon, she's like, I did. I went to the hospital because I was really sick.
I know.
So which one is it?
Really, which one is it? Like, what could it be? I think someone fumbled here. And I think other people are getting caught in the middle. Kiki, Katie, I think are getting caught in the middle. I think
that the women are going to come together. And so they're right now, what they're saying is that we're not going to see Katie for a while on the show because she is not, Bravo uninvited her to the cast trip. The women did not want to film with her. Clearly, we know that she's going to be at the reunion, but I think after that, they are going to Brandi Glanville, Monica Garcia, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever verb you want to use with whatever housewife's name. I think that they're going to act in that way where they come together and they push her out. I truly think that will be the end of Katie Ginella on the Real Housewives of Orange County, which I know disappoints you, but I do.
No, I mean, I like her when we're not talking about this. You know what I mean? Like, I did like her on the show, but I have to agree with you. I think, everyone's sealing their own fate here in a sense, right. People with credibility, people are telling stories. I really want, because everything is so vague, right? Like the whole conversation between Kiki and Gretchen, it was so everything's vague. I just wish people would, hi, I just want to tell the truth and let's move on. Right. And that's what frustrates me about the Real Housewives of Orange County. They have a problem that not a lot of other shows have. They're relying on these god-awful storylines, on these lies, these contradictions, bringing a content creator, podcaster, a radio host on Sirius XM in the middle. Kiki is now stuck in the middle. Like, holy shit, guys, this is not what was said, You
know what? Let me give it to Kiki though, because like at least you do Radio Andy Girl and they named you. Like, at least,
no, it's like 1,000%. And she has a great show with Dorinda, Reality Checked. But what I'm saying is Orange County has this issue where it doesn't feel natural. It feels produced. It feels contrived. And then you have Miami is just smooth sailing. I'm watching, episode 3 of The Real Housewives of London this morning. I'm like, wow, this is an easy, fun watch. The drama is there, but there's no like outside influence. It's just within the group there. And I think they've had a lot of fails recently, the Real Housewives of Orange County. They tried to do this whole bring Heather Dubrow back. Like this was this monumental event. It flopped. They brought Noella in, another flop. They brought Tamara back, another flop. Now we're,
no,
you know what I mean?
Like,
well, she's not. Yeah.
I really truly don't think the show would have survived without Tamara, because even whether you like her or not,
she's a housewife
storylines.
Oh, I like her. I do 100%. I'm just saying it wasn't as big, I don't think, of an impact as I think they thought it would have, if that makes sense. You know what
guys,
I mean?
we're gonna table this one, and since we know that Jason and I absolutely love the Real Housewives of Miami, this show, thank God, is on the same night as the Real Housewives of Orange County, because when we have to hate watch something and be like, what the fuck are we actually paying attention to? But we still watch it, right? Because we cover it. And then
like Below Deck. Yeah.
Well, Miami is like a reprieve, And I feel like for the Real Housewives of Miami, this is an incredible cast. I think that the cast, and I've said this a million times, I think that the cast does not need to be changed. I feel like they're absolutely killing it. And I wanted to talk about a few things from this week's episode. Did you watch?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. So one, Julia Limagova, girl, I have to say this. I'm not defending anybody. I hate a flip-flopper in a situation like this. You have somebody like, we're sitting here just berating and destroying Stephanie, who's like my plane, my Birkin. Okay. So we're like, oh my God, it's all about the plane and the Birkin and the eccentricities and like the lavish lifestyle and everything that you have. Well, then don't ask her for her plane to go to Marbella in order to ask this man in this massive mansion to be the godfather of your new boys. Like, don't ask her to do that if it's such a problem. And if, in fact, because production doesn't pay for this stuff, you guys, a lot of the, like, if they go on cast trips and stuff, yes, the hotel, that's paid for. What they do is they give them regular tickets for their trip. If they want to go on and maybe book like first class or something like that, then they can do that. But it's usually everything is paid for unless you want to do add-ons. Now, this Marbella situation, this was a request from Stephanie to use her plane to go to Marbella to have this conversation that would be great for the TV show at the expense of Stephanie and Masood, which was a $40,000 gas fee, right? So that's a very nice present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I that kind of annoys me because I see where she's using that, but then she's also taking things back to Alexia and Marisol. So I feel like there's a little bit of a flip-flop situation.
A little bit. Julia has proved to not be a good friend to anybody this entire season. Like, if you think about it, she's not a friend to Gertie. She's not a friend to Adriana. She's a friend to Marisol and Alexia when it suits fit. You know, she's Stephanie's friend until she goes up and tries to start shit in front of with Alexia. You know, like we saw the first day in Spain. Like, she is proving to just not be a reliable source or a good friend.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like, do I think that she wants to be with the cool girls that are Alexia and Marisol? Think about it, you guys. They were picked to go to do Ultimate Girls Trip. They've been on the show for a long time. They have such an incredible friendship, and they are the cool girls, right?
They're the face of the show.
They're the face of the show. So do I think that she wants to align herself with the cool girls, as Adriana says? Yeah, who wouldn't? I always like, anytime I would start a new job, I would skip past everybody and go straight to the top. And I would align myself with the person who was running the show and make sure that that was where I got in good. So I get the game plan here. I understand it. But then when you're doing that and you're completely just being destructive with these other relationships at the it's at the expense of these other relationships, and we're watching it so visibly as fans who can really just like tap into what's going on behind the scenes. Now that's kind of annoying to watch, and I do feel that way. And then let's go over to Stephanie, who the day that they went to Marbella, you have Alexia and Marisol who said, you know, we're not going to go, and they didn't want to go because Stephanie sat down with Alexia and Marisol, and she said, listen, we're going to do a seating chart. I have rules. She calls it jetiquette. She's like, you can't shit on my plane. That's not happening. And you have to take your shoes off. Okay. All right. So those are her rules. But, and then there's, of course, like an itinerary and everything. It's like kind of like being on a yacht, but a jet. I wouldn't know because that's not me. I don't live that life. But from my understanding. And so when they're talking about it, making this like game plan, Stephanie said, you know, at the point that like people start fighting or pissing off like the pilots and stuff like that, and it's disrupting because, guys, they still have to fly, take off, land this plane. Like, you can't be that disruptive, right? Then they can just drive back. Well, that's all Marisol and Alexia needed to feel a level of discomfort, being like, we don't want to go there and not have a way to get back. Okay. So based off of the way that we're watching that, listen, that was a choice. That makes sense. But also to accompany that choice, the whole trip was designed around Alexia trying to get her mind off of Todd. So if Marisol wanted a day with her best friend, fine.
Understandable.
It's understandable. Totally. But then we
also,
go over,
then if you have two women sit back, you allow cameras on the plane. So it's not a bad choice.
It's not a bad choice. And then you have production A that goes with like the first group, and you have production B who stays back with like the second group. And okay, cool. So then we get back from Marbella and we dress up in these like fun dresses, and it's everything. We're celebrating the birthday, all of the stuff. And Stephanie pulls Alexia. This part also got me. When she pulled Alexia, Alexia's like, well, I feel like Marisol should be a part of this conversation. And she's like, no, you're not twins. Like, I can talk to you guys separately. She's like, I don't think so. I feel like Marisol should be a part of this. And it does sometimes give me like Giselle Robin vibes because they act as a unit, you know, which is great. I love to see it because there truly is like a real friendship here. And that's what we want, you guys.
There is a real friendship, but for the first time in a long time, you've seen Marisol kind of have her own independent way of thinking sometimes. Like it even is voicing her opinion a little more to Alexia this season. And I like that. So,
well, and Marisol's very aware of the fact that she is shit talking Todd because she doesn't like how he is behaving with her friend in that relationship and how that impacts her. And Marisol is also very aware of the fact that if, God forbid, like if she gets back with Todd, that's really going to impact their friendship. And I always say this, like when I have friends come to me and they talk about their relationships, I do not take sides. And the reason I don't take sides is because they're probably going to get back together. And then guess who's going to be the asshole? Me, for being like, oh my God, don't let that man talk to you like that, girl. And then all of a sudden you get back with them and I'm like, oh no, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. No. But going back to Marisol and Alexia, it seems like Stephanie kind of seems like Marisol might be like the real villain in this situation. And then Stephanie says, it was them. It was Alexia and to Lisa who didn't want you to come, right? Who didn't want you on the plane. And Lisa's like, excuse me? The most chaotic, hilarious scene that I have seen in a long time. You see them fighting. She's like, you're lumpy and you're bumpy and you're petty Pippin. And then you see like Gertie and Kiki and they're like, oh, not the Chihuahua and the Rottweiler. And then Kiki's like, now that's Ratchet. Okay. But it was so funny. And that's what we want in Housewives. It's not that.
But it was also like real. It didn't feel so produced. You know,
right.
Everything like Tamara storming outside the dinner. And this is just for a comparison. Storming out, you know, to dinner from whatever Xanax alcohol thing that she said concoction, whatever, you know, and like leaving the show and stuff like that. It's like, this is a moment, you know, we've seen it before. Yeah. You don't have these in Miami. You just have more real moments. And you know what? I love the feistiness between Alexia and Stephanie. I love their
they're
battles.
two alphas.
They're two alphas, but they know how to just come back around, which is kind of fun to watch because they always go at each other, then they come back around. Go at each other, come back around.
Conflict,
so I was
resolution.
Right. And I was looking forward to seeing if we were getting more conflict between them since they're both sitting right next to Andy at the reunion. I'm thinking, okay, something has to happen between them. But I don't think so. I think they're sitting there for different reasons. So I don't think it's going to be as big as I thought it would be.
I feel like there will be probably
and how capable they are of having that resolution so quickly.
Right. I feel like there will definitely probably be some moments between the two of them because they are so alpha and they have their own sides. The point that I'm trying to make, just to sort of wrap this one up too, is we're not trying to destroy each other's families, each other's businesses. We're not sitting here going in the gutter. It is the quintessential, like that is what we want when we sit back, you grab a nice glass of Prosecco, you sit on the couch and you don't feel anxiety like you're taking on some dark, toxic behavior. And so I'm in it, you know? And I honestly don't give a shit if Lisa was uninvited on the plane or if Alexia and Marisol didn't want her on, or if they didn't go on the plane. You know, we can sit here and pick this apart. Julie, I do think that she's a little bit of a flip-flop. And I think that Adriana is sitting back enjoying all of this, watching her being exposed by other cast members. And she's like, told you, that's the route that you wanted to take. You wanted to take the uncharted route. I told you. So Professor Adriana Demora is like coming in and she's like, boom, bitch. There's textbook for you. Here we go. And
Professor Demora, for being so smart, though, is trying to backtrack on her comment. Which I'm like, girl, like, how long did you spend on Google looking up a word that sounded just like Ratchet with your accent? You're too smart. You speak too many languages. That back. You have been here too long. You're walking it back.
She walked that back really quick. She did walk that back, but it's like, Adriana, like we would, she's walking it back in fear of losing this job opportunity because cancel culture is still very real. And, you know, like there could be a lot of uses for that word that are incredibly R word and inappropriate. So she is definitely walking it back. She's trying to make sure that
yeah,
like,
no, 100%. And I think I don't think she's walking it back because of so much cancel culture. I think she does have a good relationship with Kiki. They like each other. I think she's trying to walk it back because that's not how she really felt. That, in my opinion, you know what I mean? But yes, walking it back for sure.
Yeah, Jennifer Jones said she moonwalked that shit back.
Yeah, she did real fucking quick. Real
she
quick.
definitely did. But no, at the end of the day, now we know that, by the way, guys, somebody asked us in our last live who, if let's just say if this person was alive, but the question was, if you could have a sit down or dinner with anybody dead or alive, who would it be? Now, if we would have just taken out the dead and just made it alive, Richard Branson is like Jason's idol, like loves him. I feel like you like, no, but seriously, I think that you watch everything that he's done. You like when there's documentaries and stuff that come out, like what's not to idolize about what you've done?
Well, it's someone who thinks outside the box. I like that. You know,
these businesses, and Marisol has a close connection with him. So we're gonna take it to Virgin Cruises, and we are going to continue the conversation. And I absolutely cannot freaking wait.
Do you know what I find funny though? Is if you're actually watching this season, they're not filming much of it in Miami. You know, we have like a little bit here, a little bit there, but we've been in Spain for a while. We're about to go on a cruise. Yes, it's like Miami based, but Miami housewives are moving around and it's kind of fun to watch, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that my only qualm with all of this, and to be honest with you guys, you can ask Google. I actually don't even know if I know what qualm means, but I think I'm using it right. My only qualm with all of this.
I don't even know what you're saying. Is that English? My only qualm. My qualm.
I feel like if I just like exaggerate it, then you can't say I'm saying it wrong. Like I don't want to be Adriana and say ratchet and then be like, I said ratchet, you know? So
qualm. I think you're saying qualm.
Yeah, qualm. But like with all of this, now you made me lose my train of thought. Like, why are you clowning me? So with all of
qualm with the Real Housewives of Miami, we were talking about how they're not filming
it's the ratings. It's the ratings. I'm not understanding the ratings, you guys.
Well, I've explained this a few times. You know, it's really good for advertisers and it's really good for the network to see that first out of the show and see what the numbers are. However, stop being wretched, Adam. Wretched. The only thing is Miami does have great ratings, but streaming. But that was a mistake I think Bravo made by bringing them back to Peacock first. So Miami is like a Peacock show. You know what I mean? People wait, they watch when they want. Even like they had a little bump in the numbers when they changed to after OC, but they still have great streaming numbers. You know what I mean? They're doing better than a lot of shows. So
I think on Peacock they're number 9 or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Vicky Harnish, you're shady as hell, and I'm not from Alabama. Okay,
that's true. You're not.
But if you look at my ancestry,
well, if you look at your ancestry, there's definitely some Alabama.
There's some Alabama in there, but I'm not from Alabama. Carolina. Nor
yeehaw. What's the next subject?
Nor have I ever lived in Alabama. We're gonna keep this moving, but guys, if you're sleeping on the show, then stop. Okay. So
it's beyond.
Let's take it to the next conversation that I wanted to have. We have been following this really closely, and every time that we have a divorce in the Bravo world or a DUI or anything like that, it's not just like a one-stop shop, like story. There's more to follow because we need to DUI. Now we got to go to court. Now we got to find out your punishment. What's going to happen and what's your behavior after? Shannon Bedore, we saw. And then with divorces, Erica Jane's, that shit spiraled into like a whole massive thing for forever. But now we have Denise Richards. So Denise Richards clearly, you guys, we know that she's in this really, really messy divorce, but she filed court documents. This was just on, I believe it was like August either 19th or 20th. I'm not sure. But she was asking that Aaron and his family be ordered to vacate their Calabasas home because of unpaid rent. And she was alleging that there was property damage. She also kind of raised concerns about retrieving her belongings and her pets because she felt like at the time, one, there was already a restraining order, so she was blocked. So she needed them to kind of vacate for her to get her stuff. But then she was talking about the fact that I have some really sentimental belongings from my mom, who is no longer with us, in that home. The photos of how they left this home was disgusting.
Wild.
And I can't even imagine, you guys, just to like give you context behind it. And I know that New York City is different. Jason and I moved to New York City, I don't know, like 9 years ago. We only lived there for like a year and a half. Our deposit was $15,000. We were apartment broke. We had nothing. Like after we paid the rent, we paid the deposit, we had nothing. And I had 3 jobs before we moved in on day 1. Ask Jason. Like, true. Yeah. This is a true statement. I went to, I think, like 16 different places. I had 3 jobs. So I was like, no, we're gonna do this shit. And so $15,000 for that tiny little apartment in New York, I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah, come on. You say it's tiny. You should look at the other places in New York. We actually had a 2-bedroom.
We had a 2-bedroom.
The only thing that was tiny was the kitchen. We were right on Central Park. The kitchen
and
was
our sink
tiny.
was like this big, you guys.
I know but the bathroom was huge. The rooms were huge for what it was. And we got our full deposit back. So I call it a win. We had no one on either side of us. We backed up into a courtyard, so the noise was nil. No one was above us. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, exactly.
Would I do it again? No, but it was great.
No. But if that was the case, like, then I can only imagine what the deposit would be on a Calabasas mansion, right?
Jeez,
so
yeah. When
you're looking at the destruction, this is just one of the photos that I pulled, but the flooring is pulled up. They're calling it a biohazard. They're just like, what the happened? So his team comes out and says, actually, we left it cleaner than she left it. We actually cleaned up. Where did you clean up? What part of any of this shit show that you left behind did you clean up? Because this, and I'm going to give you guys a personal story really quick, and I'm going to just like wrap it up in like less than a minute. When I first met Jason, I had a roommate and we were living in the same room. I was trying to do her a favor. She wanted to move to LA. I lived in a beautiful place in downtown. It was called the Orsini in Los Angeles. It was stunning. You can ask Jason. And I also lived next to Rev Run's daughters. So I'm in
BFD.
this BFD, but like we're in this place, great place. And my friend came in and she had no money, just needed her start. So I said, yeah, we'll move to West Hollywood. I'll share a room with you and let's do it like that. And so we slept in the same bed, whatever. When she found out that I was gay, she trashed my room. And I think I still have the photos and stuff. Do you remember? She trashed my room. She trashed my bathroom. She destroyed everything when she left. And I came back and I was like, what the happened? But I left so she could get her stuff out because her reaction to me being with Jason was so massive. And I was like, this is clearly a toxic situation. So I'm going to exit.
She probably liked you.
She did. She would always ask me, she'd be like, it's so weird that you don't want to have sex with me, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, no. But then like, I wasn't very open about this stuff at that time. But like, you trashed everything. And I really just thought with everything that I did for her, like, there's no way that my friend from high school, my longtime friend, would do that. No, she did. So this hits home a little bit. The fact that Aaron and his family, that they were able to leave it like this, it's not cool. And if I were Denise, I would have taken those photos to the court as well, especially when somebody is trying to receive $120,000 a month in alimony. Like, go off with that.
Seriously.
You know? So
gross. I hate seeing stuff like that. I don't know if it's like, it's, when I was on tour and stuff with Cirque du Soleil, I was very minimal. And, I spent 13 years on the road. So I was always in a suitcase and I like minimal. Even today, even in our home, I like to have minimal stuff. I don't like to have shit in piles of crap like everywhere. You know, it's just so distracting from the mind, you know, especially me. I'm like OCD. Everything has to be where it should. Everything has a place. What do they say in French at restaurants? What do they call that? Where everything has a place. You know what I mean? La place. I don't know.
La place. No. No,
No.
I was thinking of FIFO, first in, first out.
No, girl.
Not the same. Okay. All right. So we're going to move it on, guys. We're done with Denise Richards, but there's more that I want to talk about. I'm going to take this
and she's going to BravoCon.
And she's going, well, right now she's slated to go to BravoCon. I guess we're going to see if in fact that's the case, but you know, like, why not? I hope she goes to BravoCon. Jason and I have had a few interactions with her that have just been like really serving her Casamigos soda, but like, or Casamigos on the rocks. I don't know, but like, and Aaron, and I have nothing but positive things to say about her. And also my interactions, I think both of us, our interactions with him have been nothing but positive. But watching this play out, I don't want to be one of those people who it's like, it's so triggering because I'm like, God, everybody is a victim now. It's like really fucking annoying. But
it's really annoying. Maison Place. That's it. Thank you, Jess Kelly, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I don't feel like it's so triggering, but I want to at least say that our interactions have just been nothing but good. And if they weren't, then we would tell you guys straight up. But we're going to take this over to Vanderpump Rules in the Valley because Scheana is, it seems, not happy in calling out Lala Kent. Well, about what? I know. That's what you guys are thinking. It's about this. The book, My Good Side. So what has come up with this book that we have been talking about for so long now was Scheana ended up sending out the book
too long,
and like
too long now.
PR, but I know.
Too long.
She ended up sending out PR boxes, all of these things to her friends in hopes that like, hey, that they were really going to support her and like, you know, post whatever. So now she's calling out Lala for technically not posting. I'm going to defend Lala in this for a second. I know Scheana's a good friend in the sense that she will promote for all of her friends, but Lala went on her podcast, Give Them Lala, with her brother Easton, and she said, and I believe I played this with Jason, she said, this is going to be a New York Times bestseller. And I was like, okay, all right. So what's in this book? Kristen Doty came out publicly, all of the things. Well, this is now what Scheana had to say. So let's just roll the tape.
Let's roll some Scheana.
Know that I lost any friendships, but it definitely put some relationships into better perspective. I will say that. Are you and Lala still friends? Why didn't she post anything about your book? So I think it was like maybe a week after it came out, I saw she posted a slide and just said at Scheana. There was nothing else that she posted. I had reached out to her a couple days after all of the boxes were delivered because I'm like, I mean, yes, you know, you do expect your closest friends to post and support. And I sent everyone a really nice PR box. I'm sure you guys saw some others who posted it. I reached out and I was like, hey, did your box come? Because, you know, I hadn't seen it posted yet. And I just wanted to make sure I didn't need to reach out to the publisher to be like, hey, Lala didn't get her box. And she said that her brother and her mom deal with the packages and that she would have them check. But then a week went by and the box didn't get posted. So I'm assuming she got it because she posted the book at Scheana. So yeah, still friends. The girls are still friends. I don't know that I lost any.
But so, hold on though, like we're still friends, but let me tell you that you didn't do enough. That's what it sounded like. But like, also like when you have a product, if we have a CBD company, right? We're rebranding right now. We sent a whole bunch of boxes out. We sent a whole bunch of things out. Some people posted, some people didn't, but we're sending it to our friends. Just girl, what do you want? I feel like when anything involves Scheana, she wants the world and she wants all the validation from everybody around. It's kind of ridiculous. Let her read the book first. Like, chill the freak out.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
No. Christy G said he knows you love him, Vicky. Vicky, I do love you. And I'm just being shady, by the way. I'm going to give you guys two examples. One, I just found out that one of our close friends just let me know that one of our neighbors, like she found out that they live in our neighborhood. We have a very small neighborhood.
Oh my God. Did you tell my mom this story?
Yes. Yes.
What? Okay,
So
but
this
not everybody
neighbor-
needs to hear the story. Okay.
They changed the rules in our neighborhood. You can't park in front of the freaking yard, whatever. My mother-in-law comes. She's dropping things off for me. She was parked outside for 10 minutes. This person calls the police. I walk outside. We have another neighbor. They're a couple, and they were both in the military. And they always do happy hour in their driveway with the table, chairs, everything, with a bottle of wine.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
They're
Love them.
amazing. 5:30 and at 5:30 every night, like on time. And I walked out and I said, "Do you guys know?" And they pointed at the house. So I go and I said, pretty much, "Hey, that's not the neighborly thing to do. Did you do this?" They said yes. And I was like, for future reference, instead of just like calling the police, like maybe
Well, it wasn't
just
the police. It was like the community, whatever
it is, whatever the authority is, the authoritarian behind it. Instead of calling them, maybe have a conversation. I'm your neighbor. So
Right.
then goes on and tells this person, which you didn't need to share this, just like Scheana didn't need to share this about Lala. That was my point. That, yes, oh, I know them. You know them. You're friends with them because they like verbally attacked me. I'm like, this is why I recorded that shit. Like Lisa Hochstein, I took notes and I made sure I had that conversation.
did the note because you never know what they're gonna say.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
we live in there's a lot of rentals where we live, of course.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, like there just is. This is where we live. This whole island is rentals. But they're trying to keep, the people from like, I guess, too many
Parking
people
on the
like
road.
parking on the street. Yeah, and it makes sense because it's very, very, it's very hard to get out of driveways and stuff like that when people are parked on the road. But
I
like,
understand.
girl, it's like, why don't you just call her? You guys live next door to each other in Palm Springs. Your kids play together. I'm sure there was a time that you can like voice this without going on your show and voicing this that way.
I mean,
Right?
just keep it to like, unless we're trying to build like, okay, like
Drama for the
something
Valley.
show,
Yeah.
it's like, and when Jason just said we have our CBD company that finally, thank God, you guys, there's so much that goes into a CBD company. You have no idea. If you don't know, you can Google it.
Years.
There is a lot. There's a lot. It's not like forming a normal company. There's a lot of just things that go into it. So it's, I asked a few friends who we have just been really generous with. And I'm like, hey, if I send you a PR box, will you promote? And I had one specific friend who was just like, well, yeah, like I'll promote, but I have to get with my team and kind of find out how much money it's going to cost you, like maybe a couple grand or something like that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
No, thank you.
What? But then, mind you, we have Meredith Marks caviar. We have Melissa Gorgas sprinkle cookies. We have Chanel Ayon, who just sent us like a ton of makeup that we have somebody doing a review for the show. We have so many. We have Loverboy. We have all kinds of things like right here in our kitchen. We have boxes of PR boxes. Just like that's kind of how it works.
But you know what? For us, though, it's like we are, you're a content creator who covers these shows. You cover these things. So, for us, if you're going to send us something like that, I think it's only, of course, we're going to do something for it. Of course. Like, thank you for thinking of us. You know what I mean? And it's okay if Lala didn't. I don't know. I don't know if it is a buildup like for the Valley or not. I don't know if Scheana and Lala are going to go like against each other or not. It feels like Sheena's throwing a lot of people under the bus just to get to the Valley, even her own husband. So I don't know.
Okay.
It'll be interesting.
Well, speaking of the Valley, guys, we're about to pick up cameras. But in the meantime, Brittany Cartwright and she said this on her podcast, thank you to Bravo Snarkside and also Page 6 for sharing the images. Brittany Cartwright went away on this vacation to Mexico with her new boyfriend. And this was after his wife blasted him online. But this is him. This is the man. And my biggest question is, are we going to see him on the show? This is more of like a close-up. Just to give you guys a little bit of a background, he's a parent, she's a parent. I believe he has multiple children. Clearly, we know more about Brittany, where she has one child. If this works for her, he treats her good.
They're both still married, right?
Yeah, well, they're both still married, but this is also too the wife admitted that they've been separated for 7 months. Then who gives a shit?
Well, that's the thing, because people were going after him that he's a married man and they were separated, but also Brittany was married. She's separated. I mean, it's okay.
Lisa Hochstein was separated.
She just got a divorce on the show officially.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why is it a big deal? If it's over, it's over. The rest is legalities.
Mauricio separated. Erica was separated. Dorit was separated.
Maurizio will just stay separated. He doesn't, come on.
I mean,
at this point, it's a business. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But like all of these people have been separated. It's like, no, we're not going to sit here and just dissect it and make it that, because if we are, then we're going to sit there and call it out, because Jason and I think we're done with that. We're not doing the BS, not on Labor Day, but we're going to leave the Valley alone and we're going to move on to our next thing. I'm so sorry that I have to talk about this. And
oh God, please. What?
I'm super excited about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but there is a lot that is happening as far as like the drama. Meredith Marks said there's 2 people that really, really went in on her and Lisa Barlow. As of right now, the person she trusts the most is Lisa Barlow. And the 2 people she trusts the least would be Whitney, and she played very coy, no pun intended, because that's my middle name, but played very coy about who the second person was. Well, then we have this. This ended up coming out where Whitney and her husband are facing some sort of financial fallout, and they're calling it like a devastating like misstep and whatever they tried to do with their business. So what they're saying is, when they
what do you think the misstep is?
Or
is that what you're going to explain? Is it Prism, or is it the rebrand of the skincare?
It was the rebranding of the skincare from Rose Beauty, right, to Soul.
No,
People.
not from Wild Rose. It was Iris and Beau.
Oh yeah,
Iris Wild Rose. Then it was Soul People. Like when you keep doing that, no one's going to trust the brand,
right?
You know what I mean? Kiehl's has been Kiehl's forever. L'Oreal has been L'Oreal. CeraVe has been CeraVe. Let's just like kind of what. If you're gonna sit there and you're gonna start a company, guys, you got to really lean into it. And I know that there's hypocrisy in us saying that, because we did a rebranding with our CBD company. We're going national. Yeah, it's very different.
But the rebranding for us, it's more because it's a way to be more commercialized with what the name is and who it appeals to, and it was
what it represents.
And it was a smarter business decision to kind of hit it before it was a runaway train, before we kept building the company under a different name. So it's a total difference. It wasn't like, oh, well, this company is not working. And I don't know why she rebranded, but what they're saying is that they took out $1 million loan in order to make this happen. Now, for me, I guess the biggest question that I have is, if Whitney and Justin are in such financial stress, like this dire need of money, then if that really makes sense, why would they have just upgraded their house to like double the house? That to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like, I don't know if this is hodgepodge, like just bullshit, or if in fact, because she has talked about it as a storyline on the show, that like, oh, like we've spent a lot of money and this has been what the situation is. And you guys, like, this has been, just such a wild rose journey for me and my husband. And we have tried so hard to.
Guys, there is such thing as a Utah accent. I just want to like point that out.
Oh my God.
Half of my family are, all Mormons from Utah. Literally like since like Utah was Utah or whatever, like the only people older in Utah are probably the Native Americans. But like there is that accent. Whitney has this, Monica has the accent a little bit too.
I talked to her.
It comes out. It comes out a little bit. Like it,
She called me last night.
Has it.
Hold on. Oh fuck. I turned my phone off.
Stay on this. Stay on this though.
Wait, hold on. I was just gonna say, because she called me because I gave her so much shit last night, and I was like, "Girl, where are you?" And she's like, "I'm out on a boat." And I'm like, "Every time I call you, you say you're gonna call back, and you never call back." And now I feel like I've been left behind, like you were left behind on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She said, "That's so fucked up." And I was like, "I'm sorry."
Lord have mercy.
But going back to it, yeah. And now we have another business situation that we have to deal with on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And I don't know if you guys are really well aware or well versed in what that situation is, but it's definitely comical. Probably not to Lisa Barlow, but if you haven't seen it, here we go. So we have Angie Katzenavas, thank you to Bravo Snackside, who launched a tequila brand, and Lisa Barlow said, "I would fucking hate always being a copy, #original." Oh, this is so
She didn't launch
calculated.
a brand. She did not launch a brand.
Well, that's what they're saying. She attached her name to a brand is what happened.
No, she is collaborating with a brand.
What
She's
that's
collaborating with
attaching
a
your name.
very Codigo. Yes, it is, but that's fine. Did
Right.
Lisa Barlow offer her a collaboration with Vida Tequila?
No, because she hates her.
Okay, there you go. So it's okay. Like, why wouldn't you? You're a housewife. Attaching your name to an alcohol brand is probably the best collaboration you can do. You know what I mean? Because we know they drink a lot. But no, it's just a collaboration. I don't even think it's a long one. But it's a very popular tequila brand, Codigo. And actually, I enjoy Codigo. I also enjoy Vida Tequila, if I'm, not lying. But like the
I
way,
actually really
though,
enjoyed
and
Vita Tequila.
I like Lisa Barlow. Yeah, I actually do too. But we had Lisa on, and Lisa explained her 17-year process of this whole thing. She's had that brand for like 17 or 18 years, Vida
Right.
Tequila, way before she was on Housewives. She even showed us how she designed the bottle, like with a piece of paper. Like she went, how she folded it over and like how she wanted the bottle to look different. I love that creativity that she had for it. I think she is the queen of tequila, especially in Utah. However, the way that she went after Angie, and I'm not a huge fan of Angie, but it was just like, I'm the one, you can't compete. It's like, well, no, because Codigo is a huge company as well. She's just doing a collaboration, a brand deal, a partnership. It's not like she owns Codigo. Like it's kind of a little blown out of proportion in the best housewife way.
Right.
You know?
And I'm going to stick up for Lisa Barlow on this too, because yes, there's a total difference between attaching yourself to a company and building a company, right?
100%.
They're two totally different things, but
one is work and one is not.
Right. And Lisa Barlow, she really did. She gave us her time in order to explain the story. And we were incredibly appreciative of that and just like taking us through that journey. Angie Katsanevis, I'm not defending you on anything right now because, girl, you still have me blocked. And then also when I was at the Kathy Hilton party, it was a pile on, which I sat there, guys, I was like this, like pretend this is like, I'm sitting there with my friends, pretend like this is my Prosecco. And I was like, and I handed it off and Mary Cosby was talking to me and she's like, Adam, I love you. And I was like, wait, what? What? Like, is this, I feel like I'm getting whiplash. Then Angie came over and she was like, come on, Mary. And she's like, oh, hi. And just like, kind of like a little dismissive, but just like whatever. And then that's when Whitney walked up and she's like, come on, Angie, we're walking away. And I was like, yeah, girl, walk away. That sounds fantastic because there's nothing I have to say to a liar. And she looked at me. And she was like, what did I lie about? Which we've shared this story. It doesn't even matter at this point. But no. Angie sat there. And the fact that I'm still blocked, I don't give a shit about that. But like she sat there and Mary sat there and witnessed the entire conversation, which was so key to me for them to see the straight on, like this is not hearsay anymore. This is the Mexico filming situation that you wanted, but you didn't get because I wasn't going to put this on camera. But when I caught you at a party and I didn't walk up to you, you walked up to me. This was like that key situation for the cast members to see what actually was going on because it took up the entirety of their season. And I was so happy that they did. So,
same. But I love a housewife clapback so much. And even though it's not a brand, like she didn't build Codigo. Codigo has been around forever. Like I said, it's a great tequila. But I just love her comment on Angie's post was something like, I would always fucking hate to be a copy, #original or something like that. It's just the shadiness of housewives. This is why Lisa Barlow is like the epitome of housewives, you know?
Right. No, I agree. But with that, guys, I feel like we covered all of our topics. It's a Labor Day, which means if it's nice where you're at, it means pool. It means fun. It means Prosecco. And it means no driving. Okay.
It's so funny. You always get a little lisp when you say Prosecco.
Prosecco?
It's Prosecco. It's like
Prosecco?
Just with that one word. It's like, what happened?
Prosecco?
Like, does it make you gay? Like what?
Oh
Prosecco.
my God. Can I show you guys something?
What is happening?
This brings me to our next. We did our members only getting ready, guys, with us, which was for our
when we
Hello
were in
Grandma
Palm
party
Springs.
in
Yeah.
Palm Springs. Had so much fun. If you guys did not see on Instagram, Aubrey O'Day, I like Brandi Glanville, Heather McDonald. It was a blast. And there were so many different activations at this party, tattoos, aura readings, all kinds of things. And so I went around with the videographer and also with Heather, and we just went and filmed like what the party was. And so they did this thing where they like take a photo of you and
wait, what do the colors mean? Why are you so yellow? What does yellow mean?
It means friendly.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does. Yes, it does. But
oh, really? What does red mean? You have a lot of red too.
It means stress. That's you. So they're like, so then there's an expert who reads your aura and she's like, do you know what this means? And I was like, yeah, it means I have a gay aura. And Heather was like, I'm so done with you right now. Like, I'm good on you. And I was just laughing, but we're going to be covering all of that and showing you behind the scenes stuff from that party. That's going to be members only. That's happening this week. And we're going to double it up with covering the Real Housewives of London. And if you guys are not watching the Real Housewives of London right now, then you can also go to upandadamlive.com because there's an amazing write-up. Thank you guys. Yep. It just got posted. But if you're not watching, you need to go watch. If you're not sitting there seeing the stories on upandadamlive.com, definitely go be a part of that as well. But members, this shit
so
was
fun. I cannot wait
wild.
to tell you about
it. Was
wild. Aubrey O'Day.
You have no idea. No
Brandi
idea.
Glanville, because the last time we saw her, she was saying she doesn't trust your eyes, but that was like 3 years ago. But also her eyes were looking 10,000.
Well, I asked her.
She looks good. For everything that's happened to her and going on, I was like, girl, you look good.
She did look good. And she was really, really sweet. And I asked her, I was like, hi. She said to me, I'll share most of this for members only because I'm not going to ruin
there's
it.
Things we can't share on here for sure.
Yeah. There's things that we can't share for sure. But I walked up with Heather McDonald and she goes, oh, Heather. And she looks at me and she goes, hi. And she's like, oh, Heather, is this your son? And Heather looks at me and she goes, what the fuck? No, that's not my son. I was like,
oh,
I didn't know if that was just being shady or if that was like actually like a real question. Heather just looked and she was like, no, my son. I'm like, no, her kids are like, Heather's sons are so sweet and they're like 7 feet tall. So no, I don't classify as one of Heather McDonald's children at all. But yes, we will keep you guys posted.
It's crazy. Well, really quick. So in the live chat, so I know Vicky, we've gone back and forth on Instagram about this. I just found out that our members are different prices, different places. We only have one price, and that one price is $2.99. I have already reached out to our contact at YouTube. We are trying to solidify that because I don't know what's going on. I don't know why some people are seeing $3.99, some people are seeing $2.99, and I think too, you know, when I was on mobile earlier, it was $3.99. It shouldn't be. It should always be $2.99. We're never going to raise the price on our members at all, but we are going to work our asses off for that $2.99. So I do, and thanks, Matilda. But yeah, it's just, so we're working on it. We're going to fix it. I don't know what that is. YouTube's been doing all kinds of weird shit lately. Weird stuff,
there's a lot of things. There's a lot of weeding out of things, and there's a lot going on with the algorithm, and a lot that's going on behind the scenes that, unless you're really like a YouTube creator, it's like you probably wouldn't understand it, which is fine. Thank you also, Kimberly Davis, for joining.
And everybody, but we'll get to the bottom of that, and
we're definitely going to get to the bottom of it, but we will be doing another one this week, probably on, what do you think, Jason? Like Thursday is like the day that we don't do shit, right?
Yeah, no, Thursday we can do we know members only, and that gives me time to get all our clips together, all of our photos from Hello Prenup. It's great. You know, there are our new partners, and I just love them because Hello Prenup, Adam and I used for our prenup, and this is what, like 4 years ago.
If I play the clip from Instagram, is it going to copyright me?
What clip?
Or no, because it's not the Aubrey one, or is it? No, it's not because it's.
Save it. Okay, no one wants to listen to her sing anyway, you know?
No, don't be rude.
Yeah. No. I mean, like on here.
Okay.
Not like, you know.
Like Don't be rude.
I'm not being rude. I'm just saying I don't want to hear Aubrey O'Day at the end of our live. You know what I mean?
Then check me, boo. Oh no.
Actually,
No.
her voice still sounds great.
Actually, her guys.
You know,
And
because you know
literally
Fifth Harmony.
repeat it.
You remember Fifth Harmony? Do you
Mhm.
remember Fifth Harmony, the girl group? They just opened for the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
And they were like, I was like, whoa, your voices are still there. That's crazy.
Oh, they
You
were
know,
spot
but
on.
Aubrey has some insane stories, like insane. We'll
But
share
those won't. Those.
stuff in members.
too
No, they
many-
won't be talked about in members.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
allowed to say anything?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't trust you. You know, like sometimes Jason
I was
makes
talking
me
about
nervous
stories
because-
of Danny D. Kane and her day,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
talking about like
Oh, well,
who I
because there was a
slept
lot of
with.
stories.
You know,
there were
like
a lot of stories. I don't know what you're saying. There was a lot of
Okay.
stories, you guys.
All
A
right,
lot.
girl.
There are certain things that can't be shared. Know what I'm saying? So you guys, you two are so fun, and you're making my day. Thank you guys. You guys are hilarious. That's funny. It's his opinion. Yes, I know. No,
It's my opinion.
no, Jason. No, I just get, you know, like Jason and I check
What
each
the
other.
hell?
because
I check you all the time for this. Why would I say something that I'm not supposed to say?
I don't know. I just get nervous. But because we'll talk about it in members, guys. You'll see. But with that, it is Labor Day. It's Monday. Everybody, we have more videos coming out on Up and Adam channel 1 and 2. So again, go enjoy your day. If it's nice outside, go find a pool, a body of water, go have a drink, a Prosecco, whatever. I didn't say gay like that, but whatever. And just make sure that you don't drink
Prosecco.
and drive.
Prosecco.
I love you guys. I'm just going to sit here and get clowned all day by the husband. So, oh my God, I do say, I
What is
do
that?
that. I don't know. Oh my God, that was the first time I noticed it. I love you guys. Smash the like button. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.